Hey guys, it's your boy Yo, and today we're going to be taking a look at the Street Fighter 4 Neca Ken Masters. And these older Neca figures, I'm not going to lie, it took a while to get used to, because man, the articulation is kind of wonky, and the packaging sucks to open, but I must admit, the figure's pretty cool. But we'll get to that later, so let's take a look at the packaging to start off. So took out the box art from the back, and this is what you get on the back. You get a nice Ken bio card, which is always pretty cool to have in any action figures. And then over here you have some other figures that you can buy from the Neca line. The dynamic trio, Ken, Ryu, and of course, the most famous of the bunch, Sea Viper. She's definitely been in the Street Fighter series since like day one, and that was definitely a priority when making this line. Yeah. I'm not saying that Neca did a bad job in choosing her for the line, since she is one of the new reps for Street Fighter 4, but, I mean really, you could have done Chun-Li or Guile in the first line, just saying. But now, enough of the packaging and how the line is cool. Let's get into the actual figure itself, because I mean that's what you guys came here for, obviously. Usually here's where I say the painting and the sculpting is amazing. But I'm not gonna lie, since this is a rather older Neca figure, when I feel like they were starting, I'm not particularly sure. The painting is a little sloppy on the head. The hair looks a little moldy and it looks a little awkward, but it's still pretty cool. I mean, and then the shading on the legs is also pretty weird, and the feet look pretty disgusting, but it doesn't really matter since the figure still looks cool and it looks like Ken. This figure is based on what I'm assuming is the Street Fighter 4 version of Ken, which I mean is just really Ken from literally any game until 5, which they completely redesigned him. So he looks pretty cool and has a nice red tunic, karate uniform, or combat vest, whatever you want to call it. And it looks pretty nice. It definitely fits him and it looks pretty cool. But anyway, how about we get into some accessories? And oh boy, man, I wish he had some more accessories. He comes with a Hadouken hand, which is his signature move next to the... Now, of course, that doesn't mean to say that these accessories are bad. Just, they missed a lot of potential in giving him more accessories. I understand that it's a pretty cheap figure, so this amount of accessories is still pretty good. We'll move on with that. Unfortunately, you do get no head sculpt, so he's always gonna have to be in a smiling position. Of course, it is very Ken-like to fight with a smile, because after all, he is a cocky, rich millionaire. So I understand, but I mean, it would have also been good to have like a serious face for when he's pulling off his Hadouken with the Hadouken hand, but it's fine. So overall, his accessories are pretty cool. I'd say they do fit the character quite well, so I do like the accessories that they gave him, and I would have even been fine with 2 fists, because he looks pretty well with them anyway. My only problem though is that one of the hands broke off, and I don't know if you guys can notice from the photos, but I barely posed him with these hands because the first day I got him, I grabbed his hands, I tried to take them off like normal, which this almost never happens, but it just popped off. I didn't even tug too hard, so I had to literally pull the peg out of the actual figure with a plier so I could actually grab this out. The other hands were fine, just this Hadouken hand just didn't want to work for some reason. But that's no reason to not buy this figure since it is pretty cool. So let's get into the articulation, which I must tell you is pretty wonky. So let's get into it, shall we? Ball joint at the head. Arms can move out. This interesting butterfly joint right here, which can give you a side-to-side movement at the arm. Bicep swivel, double bend at the arm, and then a hinge and a swivel. You also get a slight ab crunch right here. Now this is where things get a little wonky. His legs are on this little hinge right here, and they move out this far. It kind of looks like it's meant so that you could do the Tatsumaki Senpukia or a Tatsumaki Senpuken. Okay, you know what? Never mind. It's the spinny kick. But it doesn't really look good when you actually try to pose him in that position. Swivel right here. Kind of awkward double bend at the knee right here, but it does expose the joint, so it's not always the best idea to do it. And finally, at the feet, you have a side to side and up and down, but you also get a toe joint. So overall, a lot of his accessories are pretty cool, and his articulation is decent. You can get some pretty cool karate poses out of him, and really, the more you see the figure, the more you start to like it. And I've had this figure for like a week now, and I've got to admit, this figure definitely is worth the cheap price point. This is not one of those figures that is super duper expensive like the SH Figuarts version of Ken. This one is a rather affordable one. You could buy him for like $25, and I've got to admit, he's worth the price if you are looking for a Ken figure. I would give it a 5 out of 5, but it's definitely based on your tastes, and the price has a lot to do with it. So if you want a good figure, maybe go for the SH Figuarts. But if you're on a budget and you need a Ken figure, this figure is definitely one of your better options. So thank you guys for watching.
And remember, don't do cocaine pills.